Hello and welcome. You're listening to Village Mama, a podcast that inspires us moms to pause in the midst of our busyness, to connect with each other, and to know that we are not alone on this parenting journey. My name is Char Lekx, and I'm a transformation coach and mom of two, and I create e-courses for busy moms to help guide them on their journey of self-discovery. Each week, I'm sitting down with moms to talk about their journey of parenting and the lessons that they have learned. I want you to consider this your community. I want you to consider us your tribe. Come on in and relax a bit because you are always welcomed in the Village Mama. Hey mamas, I hope that you're all doing well. Today we're here to talk a little bit about the Enneagram. And so you might be wondering, what is the Enneagram? Well, it's an ancient personality growth tool, and it's a growth tool for self-awareness and personal discovery. And it really helps us to observe ourselves a little bit more clearly and honestly. And it shows us 9 different strategies that we use to relate to ourselves, to others, and to the world. So why is this helpful? Well, it's said that as young children, to protect ourselves from hurts and losses and pain and rejection, or to just cope or feel safe, we instinctively put on a mask called personality over our authentic self. But as we grow older, our personality can become so fused to us that we can't even see our true essence. And then this becomes a limitation to us. Now, it's often difficult to know where to begin to rediscover and to find our authentic selves. But that's where resources like the Enneagram comes in really handy. So who is this for? I would say that this is for parents who are interested in taking a really honest look about how they're showing up as they're parenting their kids. Now, I want to start off by saying that it's not always easy hearing these things about ourselves, So I really want you to offer yourself as you're hearing it and as you're discovering a little bit more about yourself. Please, please, please offer yourself compassion and grace, and know that the beauty of this resource is that it gives you directions to go in so that you can actually show up for your family in a healthier and a happier way. So let's dive right in. So there are 3 centers of intelligence: the body or gut center, the heart or feeling center, and the head or the thinking center. And for people in the body center, their unconscious emotional response is anger. For the people in the heart center, their unconscious emotional response is shame. And those within the head center, their unconscious emotional response is one of fear or anxiety. Now, why I like to group this conversation around the centers of intelligence is because for some people, it's really hard to land on their specific type, but they can still start their journey by being able to identify which of the 3 instinctual triads feels most comfortable for them. So as we begin, I want you to think about this process of discovering your type as if you were trying on a coat. I want you to put it on. I want you to wriggle around a bit. I want you to see which of the 9 coats might fit you best. Now, here's the thing. Some of the coats might feel a little bit too tight and restrictive. Some might feel a little bit too bright and flashy and colorful for you. Some might feel too loose or baggy. And yet others might seem a little bit too fashion forward or avant-garde for your liking. At the end of this journey, you might end up with 2 coats that seem like they fit you rather better than the others. And your challenge then is to keep trying on those 2 coats to see which one ultimately feels a little bit more like you. Now, most of the coats that we buy today, it's off the rack. It's not going to be a perfect fit. So we're really going for the fit that feels most authentically like something you'd put on. You know, like when you're running on autopilot and you're really not thinking about things too much. You know, you're just pulling something out of the closet that feels comfortable for you and putting on. That's what we're going for. Which type feels like that? Like something you just pull on and wear because it feels comfortable. So I'm super excited to get started here. So in this episode, we'll be covering information about the 3 types within the body center of intelligence. And we're going to look at how they may be showing up in your journey of parenting, the unconscious childhood message that any types within the body center might have received and internalized as a child, and the messages that they need to hear now to begin their healing and their journey towards good health and wholeness. So let's begin with type 8s. So generally speaking, type 8s are self-confident, they're assertive, and they're decisive. They can fill up a room energetically, and they're here to teach those they encounter about the importance of being alive and being strong. They are self-reliant leaders who can get things done. But they need to be careful not to push and struggle to make things happen, because life will feel like a constant battle for them. Type 8s need to learn to rely on their felt sense, their instincts, their knowing of when things have gone a little bit too far. And when that happens, then they need to back off and let things be. They need to understand how to deal with situations without being overly forceful. And they need to try and get in touch with their vulnerability, because there's always love and tenderness at the core of true strength. Now, the lesson that type 8s internalized as a child is that it's not okay to be vulnerable or to trust anyone. But hun, now that you're an adult, you can start your own journey of healing by adopting this mantra or affirmation and keep reminding yourself that you will not be betrayed. So now in terms of parenting, I gotta say, seriously, 8s are awesome. You do all that you can to help your kids learn how to be tough and to go after their dreams and succeed in this world. But something to be mindful of is that any sudden outburst of anger from you may be scary and intimidating for your kids to handle and to deal with, especially if they are not a type 8 too. So as you know, I'm all about parenting mindfully, so I really hope that these tips will help. So for our type 8s, I want you to try and chill and loosen up and let your child begin to find their own voice. I'd love for you to create a space where your kids can share their thoughts and feelings without you pushing back and challenging them. Allow yourself to be vulnerable with your kids. I want you to picture this, because this could be a really good way for you to open up to your kids. Maybe sit around a campfire, and while roasting marshmallows, share stories of your childhood. And be really open with your kids about your childhood hurts and disappointments. Let them see you. And let your kids see that there is immense courage in choosing to be open, vulnerable, and gentle with the people that you love. Now let's move on to type 9s. Now, generally speaking, type 9s are pretty chill. They tend to avoid conflict like the plague. They like harmony and flow and ease and peace of mind. They like to feel that all is right with their world. But 9s need to watch out that they don't become too accommodating and begin ignoring their own desires in an attempt to avoid conflict. You see, many people of this type, they actually find that their anger shows up in a really passive-aggressive way. And I think it's important that type 9s know that it takes so much energy to fall asleep to what's happening around you or anesthetize yourself to all the things happening around you, which is why you often feel like you have low energy or you're even energized by other people. It's important that 9s begin to stop merging with others, which means that they need to discover their own edges and desires, and that they can grow by identifying and beginning to share their own feelings and opinions with the people in their world. The lesson that type 9s internalized as a child is that it's not okay to assert yourself. But now that you are a grown-up, you can start your own journey of healing by adopting this mantra or affirmation and keep reminding yourself that your presence matters. Now, in terms of parenting, you are such a sweet parent, and you naturally help your kids to feel accepted and loved. You're gentle and creative and accepting of others, and the fact that you are so chill is a huge gift to your kids. But something that it's important to be mindful of is that your desire to have a peaceful relationship with your kids means that you tend to ignore or avoid issues that come up with them that you really should be plugging into and addressing. So here are some mindful parenting tips that I really hope will help you. I would encourage anybody out there who believes that they might be a type 9 or they might be leading from a type 9. I encourage you to really tune into what's happening in your home and bring your kids into clearer focus. Share your thoughts, your feelings, and your stories with your kids so that they can actually truly get to know you. Ask your kids what they'd like to do, and I want you to actively listen to their response. Really be present as they're talking. And whether it's to go canoeing or to go outside and throw around a baseball, I challenge you to just do it. Get into action and be intentionally present with your kids. Get active with them and have fun. Now, finally, let's talk about type 1s. So generally speaking, type 1 is a type that they are purposeful and they're sensible and they act with honor and integrity and they try to be a force for good in the world. That being said, type 1s need to be careful about perfectionism. Anger for them tends to be stuffed deep inside. And because of that, it can seep out in the guise of irritation or frustration and resentment. 1s also have an inner critic or a panel of inner critics that plague them. So it would be helpful for type 1s to try and deal with any underlying feelings of frustration or resentment that may come up for them, so it doesn't leak sideways in this way. And part of their healing means letting go of judgment and beginning to see the inherent goodness in themselves, in others, and in the world at large. The lesson that type 1s internalized as a child is that it's not okay to make mistakes. But now you're an adult and you can start your own journey of healing by adopting this mantra or affirmation. And you need to keep reminding yourself that you are good. Now, in terms of parenting, you're awesome, you're great. You have high standards and you want to improve things, which are excellent qualities. Some things to watch out for, though, is a desire to want things done your way because you think it's the right way. Also, I want to challenge you to turn a blind eye to things like your kid's messy room. And when they finally clean it in their way, because we all know that sometimes when our kids clean their rooms, it's, I want you to try to remember to praise your kids for their hard work, even if it doesn't look as great as you'd like it. And so here are some mindful parenting tips that I hope will help you. I want you to schedule time to play with your kids. Get outside, go biking with them or rock climbing. Let your kids experience your sense of humor. Laugh with them, hold their gaze, capture these priceless moments with them. Talk to your kids and have them share their opinions with you, with no judgment Just honor them by being open to seeing their point of view. Well, this has been a really super quick look at the 3 types in the gut center: type 8s, type 9s, and type 1s. Now, I'm going to keep saying this next bit throughout the 3-part series so it lands home for you. Now, these type descriptions are not meant to try and place you in a box, but instead, they're actually here to help you discover the place that you're leading from when you are running on autopilot. So here's the thing. Parenting is not easy, but understanding ourselves, seeing how we're showing up to our family in a clear way is so important to making shifts that can be instrumental in the overall health and well-being of our entire family unit. This is important personal growth work that we are privileged to do on our own roads of self-discovery and transformation. And I'm so happy for you to be taking this very significant step. You've now reached the end of another episode of Village Mama. If you're enjoying it, I would love for you to subscribe so you don't miss any episodes, and also give it a 5-star review on iTunes. It's very much appreciated, thank you. So until next time, keep treating yourself and others with compassion and grace. Take care.